Hey, I'm here. I hope you are. Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. Of course, I am that Shawn. If you've been watching more than once, you'll know that. Wow, I'm excited. Are you? We have, of course, it's Thanksgiving week, so I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, since I won't be able to get to wish you again until after that. I am excited. I am not so much excited about well, the holiday season for some can be a good thing, others not such a good thing. But for me, I am excited because it gives me a reason to be able to showcase, feature, sale price items, showcase unseen, and educate you on pieces that you haven't seen before or are hardly familiar before. And we're going to touch on that in some comments that bring out that exact comment of mine as far as pieces that you may not have seen too many before. Miss Gabby has a great comment in regards to a piece I had featured last week. So you know what? Let's just get going, because I want to get to everything that I have for you. And a lot of times I don't, even though you have last week, your reaction to the items I showed couldn't have been more complimentary. All right, so let me see if there's any paper technical stuff I need to mention. No, for those of you that are just joining this show from the YouTube community, welcome to all of you. Now, for you, it may seem like this is a new show, but to others who have been regularly watching, this is an internet show that we have been doing for 4.5 years in this capacity. Prior to that, here at Gem Shopping, we did a live show for 9 years, and those live shows go on 24/7. And to see any of them, just go to gemshopping.com or on your cable or network provider, whether it be Comcast or whomever. We are, well, beyond ocean to ocean, beyond, we are more than the Pacific to the Atlantic. We are everywhere. And that is a huge bonus. 25 plus years, I don't know, maybe going on 30 years overall, the company's been here, like no other company. I, out of curiosity, of course, like so many of you, probably go to the other. As a matter of fact, I was watching one this morning, and I can't help it. We did it. We were just curious. We came across it. Another jewelry television network, and their average item that they sell or show is probably about $100, maybe even less than that. And from what I saw, it was all sterling silver or gold over sterling silver. And then the promotion of the items they were selling was kind of, I'm going to say, a little misleading in ways, because they were offering what they called exotic gemstones. And one of them was a garnet. And since we just talked about garnets, this is kind of apropos to that. And it was a garnet that I would call a burnt orange color. And they described it as being a red garnet. It absolutely was a burnt orangish, red, brown kind of color. You know, it's one of those almandine or maybe mixed with pyro, but not, it was the most common color in garnet you would expect. One thing to that, it was called, I'm going to may mispronounce it because we're basing it on being a Portuguese word, vermelho garnet. And so, you know, having a broad knowledge of garnets, of course, being my birthstone and something that, of course, we specialize in, I got curious, and I said to Raven, I said, now, vermelho garnet is knowing what a lot of the merchandisers use, will create a name that sounds fancy for usually a town nearby or some other relationship, to be able to call it a particular named garnet, and all it does is kind of make it sound fancier than what it is. So I couldn't help but to look up what exactly that word meant. And all it meant was, it was in Portuguese, the word for red. I kid you not. So instead of saying red garnet, they used the Portuguese word because the garnet was, because Portuguese was one of the languages that were spoken in the country this garnet was found. That was it. Just one of the languages, but not even the primary language, because I'm familiar with the country. And so they took the coolest sounding name from one of these languages that they could find that would be translatable and used it. And, you know, I guess there's those sayings that they have for, you know, making something sound better than it is. And that's kind of what was taking place here. And that's something you will not find here at Gem Shopping. There is no made up product names. If there's any names that you see here that are used, it is because they've been used prior. Like the other words they use for color change diaspora that aren't accepted by the gem and mineral community officially. They're just retail names. And I'm not even going to use them because I don't accept them. What tells you what they are is what they really are. And the official name is color change diaspora. So you don't get that fluff. You don't get that misleading presentation. All right. So that said, we have the live shows going on to see amazing jewelry and gemstones. And then we have this little niche show as part of Gem Shopping to keep our roots in where our founder had started. And that was gems. And he sold fossils and mineral specimens and whatnot. And this is still a carryover for all of you out there. And there's a lot of you that still enjoy this part of it. Now, you get also the true presentation of what these pieces are. So for those of you joining us from YouTube, to be able to access this show, since you've already found me, you know how to do that. To be able to leave any comments, all I need you to do is go to Shawn at gemshopping.com or go to gemshopping.com's homepage and scroll down to the bottom and you'll see learning, a little tab that says Learning Center, and click on that, and then you'll be able to find me from there. And in the Learning Center is a great place to have the 30 other episodes of the How It's Done production that Asif, our production director, and I spent a year every Friday creating this amazing, it's still such a work of art that, I think it could actually be used in a broader use for educational purposes outside of even this network. So I know even those of you that have that are goldsmiths and lapidaries have used these episodes to learn from and to watch because they've been simplified and are very concise and direct. Because of Asif's direction is the reason why, versus me rambling on about something that really wasn't needed to be said in the project I was working on. He kept me focused on exactly the matters at hand. Because here in what I do, sometimes I can ramble on a little longer. But in the How It's Done series, what we needed to do was to convey information that correlated to what I was doing. And wow, thank goodness I had him directing me, because that's what made it, along with the editing, such a fine presentation of everything you could imagine type of project you would have being featured and demonstrated in that series. Everything from how to take a ring off without chopping the shank to pieces at the bottom, to how to make high-end jewelry, including this particular ring, and an amazing custom pendant with rose alloyed gold that we show you how to do that, and a spinning gemstone on it. It's an amazing opal piece. You must see it to believe it. So anyway, like I said, it's so informational that to watch all of them start to finish or in any order you want to, except when we get to making the jewelry, it's in several segments. You want to do that, watch them in the order that I make it. Other than that, you can just pop around to whatever one interests you first. Like I know how to drill a gemstone has been viewed in the hundreds of thousands of times. So there certainly has been a need out there for something like that. And, there's so much information there that is going to be so useful to you in moving forward from working with your local hometown jeweler on a project or keeping someone, straight on their pricing. Because I also show you why working with platinum costs more than working with gold. And we go into some things like that as well. So it's a true learning tool. And at the end of it, you will know more than so many of what I call the clerks that are working like in mall jewelry stores and even finer jewelry stores. You will know so much more. And so I highly recommend that to you. If you just enjoy watching gem shopping and even are just only, not a big buyer, just a little, it doesn't matter what level of buyer you are. Or if you're not a buyer at all right now, but you just want information and knowledge, gem shopping is the place to get that. All right, so wanted to start that off. We do a show that comes out every week. We are very thankful to our production director, Asif, to be able to, with the holiday scheduling, to actually be able to get a show and get it edited in time to be able to be featured for the big Cyber Monday. And if it comes out Monday or Tuesday, you'll have to just watch and sign up for the information as well, so you get to be updated. So it will come out. There will be a show that week, so I'm real excited about that. All right. Excuse me. All right. I get off on these tangents just because I love what's in front of me, and I love conveying information to you, and I want you to be able to take what I say and use it to the best of your ability. And so, take notes. We have a trivia question or two at the end of every show, and we give the winner in the following show, as we're going to do shortly. And when there's multiple winners, we put it in a proverbial hat, so to speak, and draw a number proverbially, and choose the winner from there. Okay, let's get going. All right, now, on the comments, first, the trivia. The two questions we asked last week was, what element, and the questions are usually based on items that I have featured or information I have given or in that show, in the present show, or sometimes from a past show or information I think that you should know, or I'm testing you to see if you know. All right, so the questions from last week's show: what element gives Fuchsia its green color? Now, Fuchsia is one of those words that you could see it's the way it's written and hear 3 or 4 different pronunciations. So the most recent one that I have researched and found is, because it's spelled Fuchsite, and it used to, some people pronounce it Fuchsite, and there's some other pronunciations that came too close for comfort for Brennan, but I heard one that they said was the correct one, which was Fuchsia. All right, so we'll go with that. Which is a green muscovite mica, a very unusual green, beautiful green. And in that, it had incredibly large rubies, a rare find indeed, from South Africa. Okay, so what element gives Fuchsia its green color? That answer. Now, even if you didn't see the show, if you were to guess, and I'm going to use the term guess in this case, as to what could possibly make it green, well, use your knowledge from before. You know other green items such as emerald and so you can use what you know makes something else green and see if it doesn't apply to this. Chromium makes emerald green. Chromium makes fuchsite green as well. So that was the answer. And for extra credit, the question was, since ruby was in the fuchsite as well, what element makes ruby red? Just like the unusualness of chromium making emerald green, chromium makes fuchsite green, but in the case of ruby, chromium makes ruby red. It's just the way the element interacts with the other elements. So the extra credit answer was chromium as well. The second question was, the presence of what mineral helped determine the origin of the Cobalite specimen being from Creede, Colorado? What mineral determined the origin? All right, so the label on, since you can't see these specimens now, they're put up or already shipped out to the buyers if they've been sold. There was some malachite on the Cobalite specimen, and there was a label inside. This is an old specimen. The label, which was very old as well, said Creede, Colorado. And research showed that, my research I did, that the best and rarest Cobalite does come from Colorado, but it comes from another location in Colorado, not Creede. So in doing extensive research, and that's why, some of these things really I spend hours on, I was able to determine that yes, not only did Creede, which is in a place called Mineral County, Colorado, which I'd love to live in a place with a county named Mineral, that Creede not only did that district produce Cobalite, but the mine in particular also had malachite present, whereas the other well-known Colorado location did not have malachite. Malachite was not found to be associated with those mineral specimens. So at first I thought that it was a mislabeled specimen when I saw how that I could not find any other Cobalite specimens being offered from Creede, Colorado. So that's why I doubted it to start with. But further, and this specimen would have been mined, the label would have been done all prior to the internet. This was all pre-internet. So luckily though, with the modern use of the internet, I was able to do the research it took to be able to indeed not only find that there was Cobalite mined in, or found, not necessarily mined for Cobalite in particular, but found in particular, but also as another mineral found at those mines was malachite. So malachite was the answer. The presence of malachite on the Cobalite specimen, without a doubt, proved that the Creede label was correct, making it extremely rare, because my research found not another single specimen available for sale, viewing, or anything from that area. So making it, not only determining it for certain to be from Creede, but making it very, very, very additionally rare, and to a location collector. In other words, we can collect minerals, some people collect a specific type of mineral and collect it from as many locations as they can find it. That would be extremely rare. And someone looking for that from that particular location would pay mighty handsomely for a specimen like that. Especially the specimen was a fine specimen to start with of Cobalite. All right, so answer, malachite. Now, let's see how well everybody did. Okay, now, here we go. Starting off, we have from Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock family. Well, here we are again. Another week goes by and another wonderful show from you, Shawn. Thoroughly enjoyed all the specimens you showed us. Answer, chromium, and malachite. Looking forward to spending a couple hours with all of the Rock family. Shawn, the Raven, and crew of GSN next week. Oh, I'm so glad that we're pulling off a show for you next week, because it would be very disappointing, I'm sure, to all of you if we didn't have one next week and the week after. So, yeah, hats off to GSN indeed. Thanks, Cindy, who loves those Mexican opals that arrived today. Cindy got one of those parcels of Mexican opals. You sit down, Cindy, with magnification and with lighting and water and have the time of your life looking at them. I did. It's crazy for a little bit of money how much time I can spend looking at something like that. Miss Ursula says, Shawn, hi, and a big hello to you, Miss Raven, and all our Rock County friends here on YouTube. You've packed so much material into today's show that many of us will have a heck of a time to concentrate on a specific item. As you showcase the Cobalite specimen coming from Creede, Colorado, I did notice the incorrect spelling of malachite, and therefore it was easy enough to remember regarding its origin. That's because you associated the misspelling of malachite with, I see how you did that. Hey, however, whatever it takes for you to remember, that's cool. Misspelling of malachite? Chromium +3 is the element that gives Fuchsite its green color, and chromium also responsible for the gorgeous red and rubies. But did you know it helps manage your blood glucose levels as well as it may aid in weight loss programs? No, I didn't know that, but after putting on my COVID-25, I may need to work on some weight loss programs there. Well, you learn something every day, and maybe that's probably my item for the day. You had me chuckling while you discussed the hessonite specimen and the magnetism of certain garnets. I did manage to secure it as a possible family heirloom since my mom's family originates from a small town named Hessenthal, and one of my granddaughters shares your birthstone, while I would consider neither one as inferior. Wow, that's cool. Your mom's family, I knew that you were German, so of course one of the family members had to be from there. So that is certainly a great reason to make that a family heirloom. And what a rare specimen for garnet to have hessonite garnet. That's a great reason. So well done. Went pieces somehow find the right home. This is a magical show we have for certain. Thank you again for another fabulous podcast and all the beautiful memories you are invoking in my mind, like a trip to Landshut, Germany, while first traveling with my husband through Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Austria nearly 45 years ago. Wow, you must have only been a young little bird then. Sincerely, Miss Ursula. Very kind. Thank you. Next, we have Rose. Now, Rose, listen to this. Okay, so Rose says copper and malachite. Wow, Rose, you did almost really well. Of course, you got the malachite right. But for the element, copper absolutely makes things green. So see, that's where it's not guessing. That's where you were answering. And you answered with a very, very educated answer, because in many, many specimens, as we know, copper is the primary cause for green, like in malachite. Malachite is, copper is not allochromatic to it. It is the primary element making it green, not as an inclusion or as a elemental factor to cause it to be green. So very good there, Rose. But answer we were looking for? Chromium. Hope you are well. Been watching since Asian Collectible days. Wow, Rose, that does go way back. And of course, Asian Collectibles was another mixed show. Gems, minerals, fossils, collectibles, and whatnot. Many, many years ago that I started with. And Raven did as well. So yeah, you certainly go back with us for a long, long time. Keep on watching there, Rose, and participate. Rose, you were that close to being able to get the answer right and having your name tossed in the hat for a winner. So hopefully you will continue on with watching the show and participation in the trivia. Remember, anybody, you can just easy to send comments to me. I'll address them I can't address them midweek, but at the Eat Show. So just Shawn at gemshopping.com. All right, we have Miss Sue in Texas. She gets chromium. She gets extra credit chromium and the malachite. All right. Note, thank you to all veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. Absolutely. Shawn, I noticed your beautiful pendant immediately and thought it would be Uvarovite garnet. Hoped it might be for sale. Raven definitely has an excellent eye for jewelry and gemstones, as do you, of course. Oh yeah, but I come after her. You should see what she has on wearing today. She has on a beautiful, beautiful bright green shirt, I guess you call it. I don't know. Ladies call it something else. And I said, oh, you have the Uvarovite on. No, it's another Uvarovite. It's another one of them. I don't have a Uvarovite pendant, but she said I could borrow any one of her 3 of them. And so I doubt it would be for sale, but maybe she'll let me borrow one to wear another day. There is something cool that I am going to show you of hers today because it goes along with something I'm featuring, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So anyway, thank you, Miss Sue, for your compliment on Raven's pendant. Miss Gabby says, greetings and salutations, Rock family and Professor Shawn. Father Shawn. You know, my mom would have loved for you to say that. And, who passed away 28 years ago or so. And me being one of 6 with 4 boys out of the 6. And my mom being the very Catholic. I mean, she was director of religious education for the Diocese of St. Petersburg. That was after she was director of religious education for my school system, for my parochial school I went to. And so she really, really thought that out of the 4 boys, one of us would get the calling. And I'm sorry, but my dad had 6 children. He passed on some of his very red-bloodedness to all of his boys. And she didn't get she didn't get a celibate priest out of the deal. And that's just the way it goes. But she did love the 6 children that part of my dad brought to her. So, yeah. But my dad's 90. My dad's 90. And to tell it from his second wife of 26, 7 years now, yeah, said that he is, well, you fill in the blank. He's just a very virile 90-year-old. Imagine that. So, no priest in the family. So Miss Gabby goes on to say, Professor Shawn, gotta say that even if you had become a man of the cloth, I truly feel you would still have loved and collected rocks. Absolutely. Because I got the calling to the passion for rocks and minerals at the age of 11. So there would have been plenty of time for me to get the calling to the cloth after my love for rocks and minerals. And the two would have absolutely gone hand in hand. I can imagine what some of the items I would have had personally made. I would have had some of the fanciest religious jewelry that there would have been out there. I got the Covalite. Aha, Miss Gabby. Okay, Miss Gabby's gotten the Covalite. We'll talk about that. I remember you showing that $1 million cab and missing out on it. So I dialed as soon as I saw the graphics. I wish I had had it a few weeks ago when a couple of mineral folks from Colorado were at my house. Can't wait to receive it and see what they think. My trivia answers are correct, and correct. Thank you, and best to everyone. Okay, Miss Gabby, that's so exciting. I wish you would have had it as well, but hopefully you can still talk to him because I want you to strut your stuff on that Covalite with the Creed label, and then for verification, use Mindat if you're not already familiar with it, mindat.org, and then you can find Creed, look up, and then it'll click on, you'll see where you'll see it, and it'll take you directly to the mining district, and that's where it'll list the minerals found in the mining district or a particular mine. And then you can do the same for the other Covalites. I think it was Summer Summerfield, that are found in Colorado, and see that there is no malachite that has been attributed to those mines. And that's how you kind of narrow things down for origin. So, but I want you to strut your stuff on that one, because it's one of those, okay, well, go find another one. And yeah, you can find it from Butte, Montana all you want. And then you can find some from Colorado, but one from Creed, And this one is truly from Creed, which can be proven now with the information I've given you. The $1 million cab she's referring to, yes. So she has been around long enough that she remembers, I got a cab, and it came with, for those of you that may remember, the late 70s, early 80s, it was big, pushed really big by all these investors, so to speak, gemstones. And they would come with these outlandish appraisals for value. And it was a Cobalite cab that, yeah, it was a pretty cab, but it could be bought for, let's say, $100 tops. It came with a maybe it was even more, $15,000 appraisal, or maybe more. But she had missed out on getting it because, of course, I sold it for, what it was ever truly worth. But it was neat because I had the paperwork from that time period of how they evaluated it. And I was like, but it would be neat to have it to go with the specimen. There's plenty of cobalite found that is massive. What is rare is to find cobalite with well-formed crystals. And that's what made that piece special to start with. Then to have the two colors, making it look like, they're blue and gold. I mean, I guess there's a lot of like sports teams that have those two colors. And cobalite should be taken up as the official mineral of the team, right? I think every team go with the colors and find a combination that matches it in the mineral oil. Well, anyway, that's just me and my passion taking it one step too far. Okay, next is from Mr. Brad. Mr. Brad in Pennsylvania, getting his answers in chromium, and malachite in the cobalite. Spot on. Greetings to the showy Raven and to that Shawn, who gets extra credit for being the one in between two loved veterans, and all the Rock family, new YouTubers, and Gem Shopping Network staff. In case I don't get a chance to say it, happy Thanksgiving. Same back at you there, Mr. Brad. And that Shawn comes from when I refer to Raven as the Raven. She is showy. When it comes to her jewelry, yeah, she is a walking showcase of pieces. And like I said, not just inexpensive ones. I've showed you before some of her estate pieces and the piece I've made, the star sapphire ring. Yeah. So she's sporting that, $50,000 star sapphire ring next to a $25 silver ring on her hand. Yeah, we'll give him a little look at it later. Okay, Mr. Anthony says, hello all, enjoying my agarine and orthoclase specimen that he got. Received a package with other goodies as well. Saturday, it's like Christmas. This week, I scored the lazulite and quartz specimen from Graves Mountain. Good on you. And the epidote and orthoclase piece. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. It's so good to know where these pieces that are so special to me wind up, and really means something. It really means something, because I never want it to be to where, my son, who was, I'm so proud of him and what his path through life is, but it was never a call to anything to do with what Dad did. Never. A rock was something, how many times he could skip it across a lake. That was it. We still joke about that. And so I wanted to be able to find homes for, as you can see, an extensive collection before that ever had to be an issue. Believe me, we still have a generous collection to be dealt with, but you're getting in on me liquidating some of these amazing pieces. But I want to know where they go. I want to know they're going to good homes, and they certainly are. So, question, and I love questions, so don't be afraid to ever ask them. Question Mr. Anthony has: on some epidote crystal specimens, not the one I just bought, the actual crystal is covered in lighter green growth. I'm not having any luck finding info on what it is. So let me finish. He gets all the trivia answers right, by the way. Okay, so now we'll go back to his question. As soon as you asked that question, Mr. Anthony, I instantly said what it was in my mind and then verified if I wasn't correct. And, you know, I can get things wrong, but in this case, I knew exactly the green mineral you were talking about. Diopside. Yep, it is diopside. Now, you said not from that specimen that that I had showed you, which was an amazing specimen, especially with the orthoclase and then the stunning little extra find of the zircons, and coming from a location you don't normally hear much about, but certainly in the epidote world, very prevalent. Number of specimens from Italy. Okay, so let me just give you a rundown. I'm not sure where your specimen is from or if you know, but here are just a few of the locations that the combination of epidote and diopside are found together. Now, I did look closely at that specimen and I couldn't see where there was diopside with it, but Italy is one of the locations that diopside is found with it. But also, if you have green inclusion, another green mineral with it, it could be titanite. Titanite is found in with some Italian specimens, titanite being sphene, and sphene crystals can be greenish. Most likely, though, I think it's diopside. Some of the other places, Nevada, Switzerland, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Norway, Vermont, Austria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, France, Spain, the Czech Republic, and Finland. This is what I talk about when trying to figure out where a specimen is from. If you don't know where it is, you can back into it, okay? So if you know it's diopside, then you can find all the locations that diopside is associated with epidote, the two together, and narrow it down from there. But those are, without a doubt, if it's a lighter color green, looking kind of like a Vesuvianite type green, plus it could be other shades, greenish gray, then yes, I feel pretty certain that it's diopside that you're looking at. And if that's the case, then you have a really cool specimen, because associated minerals like that are great, especially if the second mineral in the case of diopside is, if the crystals are well formed. What a great piece. And I'm pretty sure that's probably it. So I'm glad I could help you out on finding that. You didn't have to look, you just had to ask. Miss Barbara says, hi, Professor, Raven, and the whole rock family. What a fine galaxy of specimens this week, and you got so many of them. Tried for the Covalite from Creed and that really nice Rosacite, but they found other homes. Yeah, your buddy beat you out, it sounds like there, Miss Barbara, to the Covalite. And on the Rosacite, I almost had time to get to another really nice specimen I've been holding back. So I'll see, I'll get it inventoried in, and then since you were interested, I'll put it to your attention and see if you can't, if you like it. Maybe everyone will give you a chance the first day to be able to get it, and after that, then it'll be open to anyone else that wants the piece, because it's really pretty, and it'll give you a new mineral to your collection in a lot of cases. Okay. Your shared Uvarovite pendant was an eye catcher. It's usually only a thin coating of druzy green, and yours looked so substantial. Yes, most of the times, if you look at the seams in between the chromite, remember Uvarovite is a chromium garnet, and here's where chromium is involved with coloring, the coloring green again. In these tiny, thin little seams of the chromite is where the garnets will fill in and grow. And so most of the times it is just a druzy coating, except from the most famous location of Finland. And the biggest Uvarovite I've ever held was when Raven pushed me out of the way to this little old guy. He had about 50 mineral specimens in front of me, and she shoved me down, kicked me in the head, and then got to my birthstone specimen before I had a chance to even ask and then negotiate down the price, which he wouldn't do. Just kidding. But it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. She got my birthstone before I got a chance. And this is not one of the druzy ones. No, this would be about a carat, dodecahedron in matrix from the most, what they call a type locality. That would be a word they give localities that are like the atypical or one of the original localities for finding the garnet to start with. So it's an amazing specimen that she has, and I don't think I'll be able to get it from her at all. But you know what? Maybe I could bring it in. It is a real rarity, and this older gentleman was given to him because he had worked on part of a project with someone that had something to do with the mines, and they gave it to him as kind of like a bonus gift. And so he was selling it, and he had only a few specimens. I wish I would have bought everything he had, but her eye went to that one before mine did. And so she had her hand on it, and she asked the price. No negotiation. Okay, I'll take it. I would have been trying to get the guy down cheaper, which he wouldn't do anyway. And I don't blame him. It shouldn't have been marked down. And she got it at a great value. So anyway, we won't talk about that. That's one of them family things. Thank you for the wonderful Sphene Trivia Prize. I have a couple of loose moissanites I can display like that. Super diamond, or how about a faceted Sphene on Sphene? That would look great. I think the Sphene on Sphene would look fantastic. Moissanite, you know how I am on about the synthetics. So being a purist, I'd go the Sphene on Sphene. That would be a great before and after look for crystal system to finished product. And good idea. She goes on to say, as to the trivia, chromium is responsible for the green and fuchsite and is also responsible for the red and ruby. Versatile element. Malachite present in the sample indicated the origin. Speaking of fuchsite, I was able to get a cabochon would look every bit as good as fine jade, a worthy and economical substitute. Absolutely. And actually, a number of years ago, I had some of fine fuchsite cabs like that. And, a number of years ago. Yes, this would have been 6 or 7 years ago. And sold them. And they do look absolutely like fine green jade, or you could call them all kinds of other names, and people would not know unless you really had a deep level of knowledge. It wouldn't even come in people's minds that it could be a fuchsite, but they are found as a solid type of material like that, to where they can be cut. It's cool stuff. Gotta go check on the plumber and see if he got my heat and hot water back on after a 5-week renovation. Yep, hot shower, here I come. Wow, absolutely. I'd say you're due by now. I enjoy reading the comments as much fun as you guys enjoy listening to me read the comments. Miss Elisa says in Florida, hello, Professor Shawn, the Raven. See, that's where we got that Shawn. She gets the Raven, and I get that Shawn. GSN crew and Rock family, thank you for another great show. Wow, the shipping department has once again did an outstanding job on shipping my zeolite. It arrived in perfect condition. Thank you so much. I will pass that on to Andy and his crew. My answers this week are trivalent chromium. Oh, you even got the isotope in there. And malachite. I loved how you went into the details about how you can determine an origin of a specimen by using the associated minerals. Stay safe, everybody. Hey, that's great, because I covered that just moments ago in talking about how I determined that piece to be from Creede, Colorado. And origin is absolutely can be defined by the associated minerals, just as in a gemstone, ruby corundum, it's in the most cases, is the inclusions, the different present other minerals inside a stone under powerful magnification can determine a ruby if it's from Burma or any other location. Absolutely used. Association of other minerals. And by the way, when I get one of those round tuits, I am going to bring in a Sapphire Cabochon that will boggle your mind. It has a 3-phase inclusion in it. In other words, an anhydro. So it is a gas, a liquid in a gas with a solid. And the solid inclusion actually moves back and forth. This is in a Sapphire Cabochon. I want to take some pictures of it, and then I want to bring it in and see if we can't actually show you that. It'll be at the point where maybe I'll sell it. So if not, it would be a gemological wonder and rarity for you to be able to get to see the piece. And I just discovered it by chance in a batch of other materials. So it was a lucky find for me, indeed. Some people just look at it from a distance, oh, that's included, and move it on. But that's why magnification can make a big difference. Okay, let's get on to the goodies. So we're going to announce the trivia winner this week. Ready for this? The winner is Brad in Pennsylvania. Congratulations, Brad. And I have some other goodies for you, Brad, you might be interested in, including, well, I'm not going to tell you. You might fast forward. All right, let's take a look at what you have won this week. Brad, you have won some very cool Phantom Amethyst. And I have the little box that it comes in, Phantom Amethyst from Namibia. Now let's show you. Let's show you these phantoms. And let me just hold it up here against the white background. You can see them better. As you come in on this, you can see, look at this. This is, Namibia has some of the finest Phantom Amethyst that there is. And you can see the complete zoning. Which way do we see that better? Complete zoning, there we go. Of the amethyst. And depending on what angle, look at that angle, you don't look at the reflection on the surface, look deeper into it. You can actually see the crystalline outline of those phantoms perfectly from there. And there you can actually see the color outlines. And what a neat piece that is. You can actually see the phantoms from that direction as well. And I'll let you have fun with it the rest of the way. But that piece, very cool. And then two, yes. Here is another one that also has some really nice phantoms in it. Hold on one second here. Let me see if I can't bring these up a little bit better for you, because it had such good phantoms, and I don't sell this stuff, so I'm not going to get a chance to show you other than these. Maybe that's not doing what I wanted it to do. I know there's going to be, hold on, what did I do at home that made these look so easy? This had another, again, great phantoms, and you will, oh, there it is. You can see it further down in it. You can see starting further down in it. There we go. Now we're getting some reflections back, being able to feature those better for you. All right, have a lot of fun with those. The Brandenburgs are well known for the amethyst and for phantoms as well. All right, let me tuck these away. We'll be right back with the start of the show. Check these out. Look at how pretty these stones are. Now, I'm not going to dump them out. It'll take too much time for the amount of money I'm asking. But look at the cutting on them. This is citrine. These are, of course, extremely well cut, like as if I would have cut them, or a custom cutter. So this one is actually turned on its side, but it's probably the biggest one in there, some super color. But what is amazing is this deep, rich color citrine in these smaller stones. And look at the faceting on them. These are really bright, and there's matched pairs in here as well. And this one, look at that one. I mean, that looks like a modified Portuguese cut almost in that side. There's another matched pair. And these small stones, great to just have for projects. For the whole amount of $11, just at that kind of price, just buy them, keep them until you need them for projects. And that's what I would do. That's what I have done, is I just bought parcels like this when I had a chance and tucked them away, because then I would have them when I needed them. And believe me, over the many, many years, I have used them from this parcel. So nice mixed size, all rounds. And in that size, that's the hardest shape to find. $11. I am not kidding you. All right, now, let me show you, sticking with that color, item 1036821. Hold on 1 second. Let me get the other one that goes with that. Okay. So I have, here we are. All right. Look at these. Now, I'm going to leave these in here, I think, as well, because you get to see them. Look at this. Natural color. Look at this. Golden beryl. Natural color. Now, I don't know if you remember, but a while back, I actually had a crystal of golden beryl that was this rich yellow color. And it completely does come natural, that rich of a golden beryl color. 2 stones from my collection, and I even know exactly the province in Madagascar. I'm not going to try to pronounce that word at the bottom that you see, but yeah, they produce some amazing crystals in that rich color. Now, price on this pair, these two, this pair of pairs, this is again the ridiculous thing when I think about how long it would take, someone like Mr. Anthony or I to cut these. Crazy when I'm offering these 2 stones for $12. Another reason I'm not taking them out, $12. There's no way I could even get the rough to be able to cut the stones for $12 like that. The dimensions I can tell you, so you will just know. Oh, I don't have them. I actually do know them. 5 by 3. 5 by 3? Yes. I can't believe I had actually measured them and thought I had put that information in there. But yep, so they're calibrated. They are calibrated pear shapes and beautiful, well-cut stones. Now, sticking with that, let me show you item number 1036721. 1036721. Look at these. This is another stunning pair. Now, these will be worth me taking out and just spending a moment with you featuring these. Look at these beauties. And this color is a natural color. Can you believe that? Look at that. 2 ovals, 82 points total weight in the 2 stones, matched pair. And I measured these, and I did not put that on. I guess I ran out of room. I was too curious as to putting where they were from. But yeah, these are calibrated 6 by 4 millimeters. 6 by 4 millimeters, and they're matched. And that color is completely natural. These are clean, bright, beautiful, well-cut, rare golden beryls. Now, Heliodor that word has kind of taken the place of golden beryl in a lot of cases to represent anything yellowish in beryl. But the original idea of the color Heliodor was more of a yellowish, almost with a little slight tint of green. But it's not used to represent that color anymore. When you see Heliodor used, you can just really substitute golden beryl because it can, pretty much cover any of the yellow ranges of color and still be called golden beryl instead of Heliodor. Now, the important thing is that they are natural and that the color is not irradiated. Now, I'm saying that because there's a warning I'm going to give you. If you see golden beryl that is being represented as coming from any of the stands, Pakistan, Afghanistan, or Tajikistan, lately mostly from Tajikistan, and there's in Gilgit, Pakistan, you've seen me sell many aqua crystals. There's a lot of beautiful aquamarine. There's amazing emeralds that come from Pakistan, and Afghanistan, and aquamarine, stunning aquamarine coming from Pakistan. So why wouldn't you think people would think, of course, then, if they're finding barrels like that, then golden beryl would be another one. What they've done is they're taking the aquamarine and doing bad things to it, and or other beryl in general, inexpensive beryl, and making it yellow through treatment processes, and not representing it. If you see anything like that being represented as natural coming from that area, just know that it is not. It is not going to be the natural deep yellows like that. Is not. It's going to be a treated material. So if it's represented as treated, coming from, Pakistan, then fine. You know what you're getting. But if they're trying to represent it as being a natural color and you see that origin, no. And this is coming from the best reference sources I have. And they have researched the entire area to see if there has been any genuine finds of golden beryl of anything of any quality or nature, and no, there isn't. So that I can say, that's a buyer beware, a caveat emptor to you to watch out for that misrepresentation. Okay, these two stones, $24, and I look at those and I think how long it would take and how much the rough would cost to be able to cut that material, and I think these should be $48. These should be $50 or $60 a piece. But that doesn't actually represent what the market would charge in a price per carat thing. And the weight, it's a lighter kind of weight. So $24 just sounds so inexpensive to me, and it only comes out to like $30 a carat. So that's really where the value's at. That's why I get these items and I don't sell them, because to me, to get $24, I'd rather have the stones. I mean, $24 is lunch for two people, maybe, and I'd rather have the two stones that'll last forever, and their natural color, beautiful gems, and you'll get to enjoy them for more than an hour's lunch. So that's why things like that, over the decades and decades I've been doing this, I would buy something like that because I would have $24 and tuck them away. And you're getting the benefit of that now. So many times I turn the little tubes over and look on the back to see if I had written what I paid for them. And no, of course not. And so I just go with whatever the current market is, make it less than that, and then you get the benefit of me not having all the paperwork on them as I should decades later. Oh, I have to wait a minute on that, because I have the next stone. I have a stone to show you that is so rare. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. Next, item 1036421. 1036421. I'm just going to show it to you. Let me cut this off. Look at this. Look at those. But you know what? For one moment here, let me show you. I just want to show you Mother Nature. This is neat. If you combine jewelry colors like this, the blue with that kind of yellow, I think something like that would be gorgeous. Just a thought. Here you go, ma'am. All right, now let's get back to these. These, if you remember, the neon blue, and when I was courting the Raven, I actually gave her some of my original faceted apatites that I had cut. I had them cut, fancy cuts. In other words, they were small and they were modified Portuguese rounds. They were stunning. She still has hers. I sold all mine. So I was courting her. That's how I did it. Yeah, you give a woman jewels, and they didn't have to be mounted in jewelry for her to love them. She has a collection of things. This was before I even met her. I was sending her gems in the mail. Boy, she knew she had a live one then, to get just loose gems in the mail from this guy she never met. Yeah, she's gonna milk that one for a while. All right, these stones, exact stones, because I just took a cut to keep some for my collection of the rough. It's what exactly the stones that those faceted pieces were cut from. And I'm putting them in this display only because for those of you that don't cut, these make incredible specimens just to showcase and feature. Because look at these. Look at how clean they are. There is absolutely facet grade material. As we look at them closer, you can see that if the whole piece isn't facet grade, that there's portions of them. And so you can do that, or you can leave them just as specimens. Look at that one. That would cut a beautiful emerald cut due to the shape of it. That one cut a couple small rounds. These colors, stunning, stunning. These I know because I got these a long time ago, the rough, and I know the person who's actually, my safe came from this person, believe it or not, and he since has passed away, and he used to live in Helen and was a big gem dealer and had gotten a lot of different rough material. And I know the person's daughter really well, so we could date this material to exactly a time period. And that's why I know when these were mined. When you see me put up things that were mined in the 60s and 70s and whatnot, that's this estate of items, including there were zircons that I had gotten. Oh, for those of you that got in on the Tanzanian sapphires, the Umba sapphires, that was another batch that I got as rough and had them all faceted and cut, just as I did these. This batch, it is only $31, only $2 a carat in the rough. The faceted, after they're faceted, it goes up a lot. Of course, you lose some material, but certainly worth it as specimens for $31 to get them all. But to buy it as rough, $2 a carat, it would be almost impossible, if not impossible, to find any material of that quality that inexpensively. Now, let me show you. Yes, we're showing some gemstones. I haven't shown you a real mineral specimen much yet, but don't worry, we're going to get to some of those. And but first, let me show you one more gemstone, and then I've got a couple others we'll show after a bit. We'll get to some mineral specimens, but this next piece, though, I wanted to feature, and it is item number 1037121. It is going to be one of the rarest cat's eyes you've ever seen. And look at this. Look at this. This is stunning. Now, just think for a moment what you might think, what kind of cat's eye it might be first, before the graphic comes up. Just think for a moment what you think it may be. It's a rare stone that you don't often see as a cat's eye, much at all. All right. Now that you have your thought in your mind, let's see who got it right. 1037121. Okay, you don't have it? All right. Do you have that sheet you want to pull it from, or you want the information from here? Okay. Okay. Now, as we pull up that information, this stone has been in my collection for no less than, maybe 30 years or so. And it is a real rarity. And it's something that you just don't come across very often at all. So much so that apparently I didn't want to sell it because I didn't even include it in my inventory list. I sure did. I skipped it altogether. You are right. So at least the item number is reserved for it. Take a look. Everybody can see it at the same time. Cat's eye Siberian Russian nephrite jade. Yes, 2.52 carat, 10.5 by 8.6. And what I thought was unusual is that means it would fit either a 10 by 8 mounting or an 11 by 9. It is a collector cab. Look at circa cut in the 70s. Shawn cut. That's how I know how old it is. I couldn't remember if I cut it when I was like, was I 14 or was I 16 or was I 17? Well, I was a teenager all throughout the 70s. So I cut it in this when I was a teenager. And so this jewel has been with me. And one of the ways you can tell, I got better on finishing the backs, but one of the ways you can tell is the polish. The polish on this, I was a big believer in diamond polishing, using diamond on especially material like this early on. Now, it is with diamond only with especially dense items like this. Look at that cat's eye that you can achieve. And let me see if I can get any of the light to actually, you can see on the surface. It is an extremely high finish when you see this in person for the polish. And it is using diamond that does that. This is, you can see the back. Yeah, that's probably some of my Shawn cutting as a teenager. What a neat and rare and unusual cat's eye. Now, I'm going to give you the price on this, and then it comes with a caveat. This piece is only $48. That's only $20 a carat. Let me tell you right now, buyer beware. There is in the market a cat's eye actinolite. You've heard me talk about actinolite. You're familiar with actinolite. Yes, an actinolite that can look just like jade, just like the type of jade that cat's eyes are found in. So you really have to be careful on actinolite, which is selling for much less than the cat's eye Siberian jade, that you're not getting an actinolite. And that's why your sources really count, and you really need to know. And that's why the internet is a wild, wild west show that instead of gunning you down with a gun, they get to you with your pocketbook, and usually with no ability for return privileges, or, well, there's a lot of tricks to that. You know, here at Gem Shopping, you also get, even in this show and all shows, all the full rights to return something. If you discover this to be an actinolite, then most certainly you return it, and then tell me what idiot I am for not knowing the difference, right? All right, this piece at only $48, you know you're getting the real deal, and you're getting something that I cut as a teenager. This going way back, and I actually have a optical stone collection. In other words, cat's eye stars, those kind of things. And this was in that collection. I thought, you know what? I'm going to see if anybody's interested in my cat's eye nephrite jade I've had for so long. And there it is. It's a real deal. And that eye is actually very sharp. And in the sunlight, it's even brighter and better defined. So anyway, a really neat treat there for someone. Now, all right, I am going to take a moment break here, and I'm going to be right back with some mineral specimens. I was giving you a moment to take them in, because what you are seeing is, of course, the world's smallest geodes, Oko geodes. Now, you know, if you've been watching me for any length of time, that I've had these before, that every now and again I let a few trickle out, but you're down to my personal collection. My personal collection of these, remember, this is the Oko geodes that the Raven lined that, the backsplash of a kitchen. You have that little lip of the black splash that's maybe no wider than an inch wide. Well, she lined the entire backsplash with our original collection of them, which, well, originally at one point we probably had 1,000 or so, but I sold many, many flats of mine to a big Oko geode dealer. I had to take payment one time in Oko geodes, believe it or not. Guy couldn't pay me, but I got some Oko geodes here. Well, I got them at the right price. I sold them on to another dealer that he's a really picky buyer, But he took them at the price, so I know that they were, cheap enough that anyway. But before I sold them all, I did pick out and high grade some, and now you're getting the benefit of the best is what I'm down to now. Let me show you these. Look at these. As Dave takes us inside with his amazing camera work, first we have the Plume Agate. That's what I call it, and you can see it because it looks very much like plumes. Look at those. Okay, but inside, I didn't keep it for the Plume Agate. I kept these particular ones for the formations or the colors or the other impurities. Look at all the reflections, all the irises, the rainbow reflections in this, for one thing. Then a second thing, it's natural citrine. There are some natural citrine colors. And then there's a third thing, and this is where, and when, always get magnification. It really opens up the world to looking at and inside crystals. You see these black inclusions? That's goethite. Goethite, yes, the iron oxide that can form incredible plumes in itself and have beautiful crystalline features as inclusions in quartz. But, looking at it like this, I'm just seeing amazing irises bouncing out all around this. This is a large opening cavity also for an Oko geode. So look at that. There's going to be a lot to explore. You can find other minerals in these pieces as well. Calcites. Oh, here we go. Look at that. There, look at that plume right there of goethite. For one thing, that's what tells you it's goethite when you see a spray formation like that one. And I had not looked at it at that angle, exact angle, until you do. You really don't see it at any other angle. So that's neat. You got to turn these things every which way. So there's that one. Look at this one. Look at this one. Now you can see why the Plume Agate. Look at these features in the agate. But now let's go inside, and you're going to see, look deep in the recesses. These things are amazing. And a bigger crystal, and then there's little black goethite specks. I see another mineral back in there as well. There's the black goethite. There's the cool formation of probably chalcedony coming down in there like that. Beautiful. And then my favorite, I pulled out all the amethyst ones. Very few. Out of the thousands I had of these, there was only a couple few dozen ones that actually had an amethyst interior. Look at the Plume Agate. Look at that beautiful amethyst on the interior. That is really rare in the Okos to find that. And then look at the exterior. These also would be cool to, and they've done it, slice them this way and picture that for like earring dangles, two thin slices of these, easily drilled and made in, and that's all you need to do, and make into a wonderful ear drop for either a pendant or an earring. All right, I actually have another parcel to show you, but this parcel, those three pieces, only $34. Item number 1036221 is next, and let me get these. I individually bag them to keep them all protected. So I suggest the same. Okay, so let me show you the next three. Now, these are going to be, I wasn't going to kind of figure it out or break it down to separate prices. So it's the same price, $34. All right, let's start with this one. Take a look. Yes, there it is. It may be faint, but it doesn't matter. It's there. Look at that. Amethyst. But look at this edge. Look at how translucent this agate is. Look at that. That is a really translucent. Then look at that. That is almost a green. Not almost, it is. That is a green blue. Wow. Rim to that. And then with that light lavender or purplish amethyst center. Let me see. I hadn't gotten to totally have fun. I was just, there we go. I wanted to see exactly deeper into this. And this is how you can do it with a light at home. All right. So you just use a light, and then it allows you to view other portions and to be able to see things you don't normally get to see. And that translucency in the edge is what I was curious about. So it maintains that bluish rim and bluish color. So that's something pretty cool. And then you can see really how deep that goes. Thank you, sir. Oh, look at that. That's odd. That amethyst almost looked like it intensified, but we're going to talk about something really cool regarding light, what a light can do. All right, and then look at this. Look at this. Look, this is a major amethyst piece. Look at how large those crystals are back in there. Wow. And then you have Goethite crystals there. Look at the beautiful Plume Agate. Wow. This is an incredible specimen, actually. And there's a couple things, let me point them out. I'm curious when you get this at home to check out. Look at whatever that is. That, see that? There it is. You can see the tip of it now, and bigger individual crystal. But those two big amethysts there really stand out. Those Goethite there, really beautiful. Here is why I call it Plume Agate. Look at that. Look at those plumes. Definitely a plume type of agate that I've only seen in these Oko geodes outside of what they actually call Plume Agate. And what is that? That may be something that fell in there. Let me see if that comes out. If that is something that's stuck, hey, I want this back. That's a mineral or something stuck there. And that color, wah. All right, well, it's still only $34, but it should certainly, I think, I don't know. I'm curious to know what that is. But that's the way I am, the curiosity. Now, let me show you next, since we were speaking of epidote, item number 1035821. 1035821. And I'll just remove that for the moment. Let me show you. We're going to undo this together because this is how I got it. It is one, obviously an estate piece. This is an epidote. And look where it's from. The Torino, Italy. I couldn't believe how famous Italy and on up into Switzerland was, how famous they were for their epidotes, especially around Turin and this valley. And wow, it was really well known for magnificent epidotes. And let me show you. Now, this is glued to the base, so I'm not going to, I wasn't going to unglue it and take a chance on breaking the styrofoam. I'll let you do that if you want to go ahead and do that, because there actually is epidote crystals on this back side somewhat, but most of them right here. Now, this is special because not only does it have the labeled box and we know exactly where it's come from, but again, the origin of it is still unique. I just do not see that many Italian epidotes in the market, but let's go in close on this, because right here you can see perched is a very cool quartz crystal. And I think just anything extra like that, there we go. You can see, there we go. Look at that. You can see the termination of it. And now, yeah, once your mind and brain orients itself with the crystal, then you can see it a lot better. That's really cool. That's really what made it special for me. And this would be one to look at a lot closer. And now that Mr. Anthony has made me more aware of course, the diopside that is found with epidotes, this would be one to inspect a little closer, because I didn't get a chance to see for a difference in a crystalline form. See if there you can spot any of the diopsides with this one. Look for the lighter green colors is where you would start. And there may be. There may be. I didn't look at it for that, and certainly the estate that I got these from didn't either. Just a single label. Also, this darker brownish type matrix behind there. You know, in this area, garnets, andradite garnets are found and can be found with these as well. So for other green minerals with it, you have to think about that as well. Look at these cavities, how the epidote forms in them. Look at this. Look at this. See, I missed this when I was looking at this. And you can see that opening, and that certainly looks like there could be some additional crystallization there. And a lot of the androdites actually, what in the world? Can I take this one back too? There could be something very desirable that didn't get picked up in a description on this. I'd look into this one more. I'd probably even take it off the styrofoam. You could always get another piece of styrofoam if you want to put it back together as it is. But with the label, and then with my additional labeling for information on the backside, you know, you'll have all the info you need. This is why pieces like this you can call estate. You know, because other than that, you think, well, how can an estate mineral specimen or gemstone, it can be exactly that. An estate doesn't just have to be a piece of furniture or an old antique ring. You know, that's how I've gotten a lot of these, is from estates. And some estates the specimens are well documented and defined. Other ones, very little information given and a lot left up to the purchaser to figure out what they were. Well, my jewelry store was like the only one in Atlanta that would buy mineral specimens. And I was known to all the other pawn shops and jewelry stores. If someone came in looking to sell mineral specimens, well, they all had my card to send them to me. Oh yeah. So that's how over many decades I have been able to get so many of these neat, unusual pieces. But, you know, I had a business partner. He didn't want them. I did. You know, money, divide them up. It was impossible to ever figure out, you know, what something was paid for in so many cases. So, so many times I just made it a crazy opportunity. And so many of you now are recognizing just what a deal so many of these things are. Something like this, $34. $34. Now, if this was off by itself, $34 specimen, if you were, you know, buying it at a show and had no information with it, is it worth $34? Probably not. But being that it's an estate, it's an old piece, mined long ago, the exact location is known, and the piece has not been examined close enough. It's not listing quartz, it's not listing any other minerals with it, that there could be additional value to it that has not been yet determined. So with all the other additional information, yes, the $34 is a value on that, especially if you collect epidotes. That would be something that a location that you would want to have and to add to your collection. Now, this next, well, not that one yet, or maybe that one. Oh, maybe that one yet. All right, let me take a moment break here and decide what I want to show next. I'll be right back. Okay, so in Dave, the cameraman's words, he goes, those look like some shards. You know he didn't think I was going to use that word, but I'm a man of, when I hear a word that is apropos of something, I had to say, you know what, Dave, you're right. But, I debated about not featuring this at all, but it was from too unusual of a source. Look at another one of the estate pieces, selenite, South Australia. Okay. And I said, well, I'll leave it up to all of you if you want to get in on such an unusual selenite. Now, this selenite piece and this one may have been together at one time, but this selenite, if you again collect selenite, this would be a great rare one to have, because I even know exactly where it came from. It came from the Whyalla in the Erie peninsula of South Australia. South Australia, Australia is made up of 5 provinces and Tasmania. And so South Australia, Lightning Ridge is found in the province of New South Wales. That's where Sydney is. Boulder opal is found in the Queensland province of Australia. Coober opal is found in the province of, or territory of South Australia. So, and then we have Perth all the way in Western Australia. And Stickite and whatnot come from Tasmania, and Gaspiite come from Tasmania. And there you go. All right. Now, that said, where this selenite forms, the selenite, whereas at times can take, months, years, hundreds of years to form, many selenites in areas like the halite that forms out west after a big rain, and you have the salt beds fill up with, the salt flats will fill up with water only momentarily. But in that short period of time, just like saturated, we grew salt crystals, same thing happens. Salt crystals, halite can grow really fast. Same thing can happen in selenite. These selenite crystals can form within a couple weeks. And they have some amazing green selenites that are green due to the presence of copper. Now, in these pieces, there is some really unusual inclusions in them. Not sure exactly if it's related to just the surrounding material or if it's chlorite or something quite like that. But you can see you have nice crystalline forms. And this is another one, albeit very fragile. So much so that it comes with a bag also of shards. Now, I say that because there's some bigger pieces in here. But if you remembered from me talking about selenite weeks ago, that there's some experimentation you can do. I think that some of them are supposed to curl up under heat, and that's how they determined some other factors about selenite. But they will grow like look like worms under a blowpipe, or under a torch environment. But you could play with the shards and have some fun with them. Overall, you can add to your selenite collection for not a lot of money, because as impossible as these would be to find and unusual and rare, I'm only asking $28 for the entire batch, those 2 pieces and these shards, and we'll get them to you in the best shape that we can. And hopefully they'll be able to get to you in as few pieces as possible. But again, it's a rare estate batch of selenite, and if you wanted some selenite from there, I don't even know if I could ever find you any, because again, I think transportation from there to here would be a little bit difficult. Nonetheless, you get the box, the label, the shards, and these 2 bigger pieces for only $28. I think it's a pretty good value indeed overall. So take advantage of those. There's not going to be, of course, another parcel than that, and there you have it. Okay, now if I can get the Raven here to take these away, I will show you the next item, which is 1030721. And let me wipe this off and put these 3 down. Now, these are diamond crystals, a parcel of the Congo, which is the Democratic Republic of the Congo now. The DRC is the official name of it, but still I just like to go say the Congo. It sounds, I don't know, so much wilder. Now, beautiful cubic form showing the isometric crystal system that they belong to, and wonderful cubes. And someone had asked before if they were fluorescent, or if any of these were fluorescent. So I actually took my laser pointer fluorescent light and put them on it. And with the other lights right now, you can't see it, but anyway, I think it's this one actually, and I confirmed it, and Raven saw the same thing. I actually had what looked like a pink fluorescence to it. Nevertheless, however, whether they have fluorescence or not, I have an opportunity for you on these, which is only $44. Only $44 for the set of all three. And if you've ever needed a diamond that you could use as for a Mohs scale, you know, hardness testing, or to give to someone as a gift if they don't have a rough diamond crystal in their collection, well, this would be a really good way to do it. And then, of course, this is natural color. That yellow diamond is a natural color. And, you know, that one almost, with imagination, looks a little pink, but that could be my imagination running wild. Only $44 for the three. Great opportunity for you there. Now, this next piece, this is a piece that I have had and set aside. I was going to do something with it special a long time ago, and time is just running out on getting to projects. So I'm going to let someone else in on doing something with this project, or just having one of the finest representations of what it is. 103-6121. 103-6121. Let me show you. I have never showed one of these. I'm going to offer it. Yes, it is what it looks like. A moldavite. A moldavite. It is a stunning moldavite. It is from the Czech Republic. It is from the Besanitsa deposits and my collection from the Krumlov district. And let me just show you the incredible, beautiful color that is only the moldavites from the Moldau River area have this color. Now, moldavites, or I should say tektites, are named after the area they're discovered in. So you have Australites, you have Georgiites, as in this state of Georgia. There is tektites been found. There's Indochinites. There's only about 7 in areas of tektites, strewn fields in the world. And by far, the tektites coming from the strewn field from the Moldau River are the best known and the most valuable, because they produced gem quality, facet grade quality moldavite. And it has been known they were found in prehistoric times. Talking about going way back, they were found outside the strewn field, showing that they also had been traded amongst the primitive people. And so it was seen as something of value quite some time ago. Now, this piece, why I kept it, was because it has such an attractive formation to it. The Besanitsa deposit, if you've heard about that, is where an ancient lake bed used to be. And these came down 15 million. The Reese crater has been identified as the crater that had, where the meteor had hit, creating and ejecting the molten material up into the atmosphere to rain back down in the strewn field as a tektite, later to be known as moldavite. And now, of course, that ancient lake bed is a dry area, and why they call it kind of a deposit. And it is part of a nationally preserved park. I'll just use the term park. So there is no more digging, no more opportunities for any of these to come from there. Now, you can't get caught up with the name Besanitsa, because Besanitsa refers to pieces that were found in this deposit. And they are known to have unusual formations and to be very sculptured. Now, some Besanitsas have what looks like these porcupine type of star arms that come out of them. And it's difficult to describe without seeing them. And they are more associated and very desirable and collectible when they're like that. But a piece like this can be a Besanitsa piece as well without having that type of formation and still be a Besanitsa motivite. This one to me looks more like some of the Besanitsas being offered, some of the classic Besanitsas, than other ones in doing research that are from the Besanitsa deposit but look very plain. They look much more like just common motivites. So this one, with its openings, with the sculpture to it, look at the thinness to this. So you get, for the weight, they're sold by weight, and they're very rare to be found in sizes much more than a 4 or 5 up to 10 grams. A piece that is 50 grams or larger is extremely rare and very, very valuable and expensive. Now, this is from the Krumloff district, which also gives you information as to exactly where it's found. This is very rare. This is one that would lend itself to wire wrapping. And yes, I am going to get with my wire wrapper. And indeed, I was just hoping to have some other pieces to take to him besides the one of Miss Gabby's, which I still have, and I apologize for. But I'm working on it. This is stunning. You could do something as simple as drill a hole in this and have your pendant, and it could easily hang either way. That way, it almost looks like Africa, except it's not been found there. These openings and these cavities will tell you that it's not a fake, because believe me, they have tried to fake them. The way you can tell a genuine motivite is they will have the swirls like you can find in glass. They will have bubbles like you find in glass. And they will also have, not all the time, but it's better to see them there than not there for determine whether they're genuine or not. They will have little pieces of sand or other impurities in them. Now, some, when the strewn field came down and the molten glass came back into the atmosphere, a lot of it hardened up before it hit the earth, but a lot of it didn't. A lot of it solidified after impact. Imagine this streaking through the air and then hitting the ground. How could it stay in one piece? There's no sign of this being broken anywhere. There's no conchoidal fracture or anything that you would see. So, you think these pieces, when they come down and hit the earth, these are glass, that they would absolutely shatter, but they haven't. So many times I think that some of the formation has come from the actual ground itself. There's one way to definitely be able to tell that they're genuine. These were, they were first recorded in Bohemia in the Czech Republic and from the South Bohemian region. And one of the best ways to be able to tell, and this is a difficult word to say and spell and pronounce, is they will have Le Chatillierite, Chatillierite inclusions. And that is worm-like inclusions. Now, I don't know how close Dave can get us in on this. Yeah, okay, that'll be close enough. All right, worm-like inclusions on the glass are going to be very similar to what you see right there, except longer. You see that little sharp protrusion right there. And as we turn and spin this around, you'll see additional areas like right there on the edge. They're small. In the best versions, they're longer. Let me put it to you like this, ladies. A meringue pie, the egg white that you beat, and then you put on the meringue pie. And you know the meringue, when you're putting the meringue or egg whites on it and you lift the spoon up or whatever from it, and a piece will curl back down. It looks exactly like that. It looks like the pieces of the meringue that comes up and curls. They call them worm-like, and the other, and that's how they're found on these. And they're found on the edges of the openings. There's no way that anyone can create that in a faked piece, create that look. Now, guess what a complete Le Chatillierite is? It is a fulgurite. A fulgurite. Le Chatillierite is where molten, high temperature molten glass creates these. So basically a fulgurite, the entire fulgurite is considered Le Chatillierite. And if you look, you'll get and see that glass formation. The Egyptian desert glass is considered all Le Chatillierite. And of course, just like this is, and like the fulgurite, it's not made through a geologic process. It's made from an external source, a meteor, a lightning bolt, etc. There's no way in the most talented glassmaker they could ever replicate all the type of formations you see on a genuine moldavite. Only nature can do that. And the impact, they call it also impact glass. They found some Le Chatillierite at the bottom of the big crater out in Arizona as well. And on this one, there's small indications of it. There's not any larger ones. Larger ones are real obvious, and I wish it had them. But again, it would be more expensive. It's considered something desirable and valuable. But in trying to hand form or hand create anything like this, no way. This also has small little sand inclusions in the surface. It has the glass, it has the air bubbles in it as well, as you would expect to find. This is just a very sculpted, desirable piece of moldavite that has a huge look without having to pay for the weight that many of them you end up having to pay for. This is an exquisite piece. It was my own personal piece that I still would like to do something with, but I thought I would pass it on. Price opportunity on this, it is a excellent, the Grinch. Oh, I see the Grinch. I do. Here's the neck. Okay, the Grinch. I do see the Grinch. Even the eye, here's the nose, here's the neck. I do, the Grinch. And that coming from our cameraman. Wow. Well, you got to talk about the Grinch. Now the price has gone up. It's because it looks like the Grinch. No. Price on this, it was hard to figure a price. This is certainly worth well beyond the $148, which is only $11 a carat, which is crazy because normally to get this size, it would weigh 2 or 3 times more. It wouldn't have all the sculptured effects, only $148. Moldavite is made up of SiO2, silicon dioxide. And the other thing that they have found it's made up of is Al2O3. Now, we have had that test before on Al2O3. What is Al2O3? Corundum. It contains in its chemical makeup, not corundum per se, but the molecule Al2O3, which happens to be the same as corundum. And so this is just an exquisite piece. Now, in the metaphysical world, it is a stone of transformation. I could see why. The impact of the meteor hits the silica soil, ejects it up into the atmosphere, and it comes back down in the strewn field, and it transforms itself. It also is known to accelerate change in your life. If you have change, it is, and want change, it is a stone of transformation. It accelerates that change. It's also a stone of protection. A stone of protection, believed to be, going way back. A beautiful piece, my own personal piece. And if anyone does anything with it, I would love, or if you want a wire wrap piece done with this, it'll give me another piece and another excuse to get up with my wire wrapper, Andrew, and have him do something with that. And I promise to be more timely about it. So take advantage of this. It is the only Moldavite I will be showcasing ever. And that just tells you how special I found it to be, because I have gotten rid of any other Moldavites that I had. This one, no. This one was special. It's a Besanitsa from that area. It may not have some of the classic Besanitsa forms that some other people think it is, but it is extremely sculpted like other Besanitsas as well.
And it's a mean one. It's a mean one.
It's a mean one. It's the Grinch. That'd be a good name to give it. Indeed. Take advantage of that beauty. All right. Now, this next piece I have, it's something you can more relate to because it's a rock. Item 1036621. 1036621. I think that got it all. Okay. Now, let me show you what makes this piece so fun and interesting. Look at that. All right, so look at this side, but wait, there's more. Look at that. But wait, there's more. Look at that. All right, now as we go in closer on this, when I first looked at this, I thought, okay, well, there's quartz and calcite. But when I started doing a little bit closer observation, I found out there was very little quartz and it was almost all calcite. And boy, does it fluoresce. So Brad, I know you love fluorescent minerals. Talk about fluorescence. This is stunning. Orange, red fluorescence on this side. And I thought on this side, I thought actually this was barite. It isn't. This is all calcite. Look at the two different colors from one side to the next. But here's the fun stuff. These look like caves, these openings. Look at those big calcite crystals. Look at, don't you wish you could crawl and climb back in there and see what else is in there? Look at the pyrite. Yeah, you have pyrite on the ceiling. In my mind, of course, I want to think that I just discovered this cave with a gold ceiling in it, and oh, I have an active imagination. And as we keep turning this, look at the pyrites, look at those very cool openings in it and the crystals that formed as nature gives it room, and there's thermal solutions passing through those rooms. That's how crystals are formed, a little bit at a time as the solution passes through, and crystals are grown. Look at the pyrite there. There's more. Look at these additional cavities. Look at the pyrite back in there. Look at way back in there. And the whole thing fluoresces. Look at that. I mean, it looks like gold. Wonderful pyrite. Now, on this one, it's easy. If you have a loupe or magnification, you're going to be able to look at the pyrite. And in this case, versus chalcopyrite pieces, you're actually going to be see pyrite that has little tiny cubes. And when you see, to determine whether something's pyrite or chalcopyrite, as soon as you see a crystal that's cube in a cube form, then you know it's pyrite. Look at that opening down in there. That looks like it's just calling me to crawl back into. Now that's just the one side. Look at the white calcite side. Look at these crystals. Look at how large these are, and an incredible fluorescence as well. It is really a striking specimen for being something as basic as, oh, look at this, as calcite. Now here's the quartz. Here's the quartz right here. And there is a little darker band of an oxide mineral there, probably a iron oxide. That's where pyrite's coming from, most likely. And then I believe this is also additionally yellow calcite growing here, more of a non-crystalline calcite. Just a really unique specimen. And if you have a fluorescent setup, this would really add to it for not a lot of money, because it is only $38. $38. Look at that. Cabinet size specimen. Oh, that looks like an alligator. Kind of. Look at that. There's the eye. Look at, there's kind of the mouth. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Good. I got it a second on that. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's an alligator calcite right there. Yeah, and the mouth opening, and really the teeth are a little off, but yeah. All right. Okay. Beautiful, neat, unusual alligator calcite. Okay, now I'm going to take a moment break here, because what I'm getting ready to show you in the next few pieces, just wait till you see it. Okay. 2 pieces of Raven's jewelry. Obviously, they are NFS. In other words, not for sale. Letting you know that right now. But I'm using these to demonstrate what I'm getting ready to show you in a moment. But first, I want to show you what some beautiful Udialite looks like. This is Udialite. Some people have pronounced it Udialite, but correct again pronunciation, and we're trying to figure out, you know, the most common accepted pronunciation is Udialite. Now, this is some wonderful high quality Siberian material, as is this ring. And for those of you who have been watching any number of years, I had a Udialite box, a large box. It was probably like this big by that wide, all Udialite. It was as stunning and amazing. Wish I had it back, but I know one of you out there has it. Refresh my memory who got that. Was it Miss Gabby? Not sure. But anyway, what I wanted to show you was, all right, Udialite is recognized. You know, it's been made into all kinds of jewelry for many, many years. But when you look it up, it is actually accepted and recognized as a radioactive mineral. It is considered a radioactive mineral. Now, why I say that? What do I do? What do I have? I have the Geiger, also known as the Geiger Counter. Let's just look at this. All right, so we have the normal air ambient reading in here. Of course, Dave's not glowing today, so just regular. So we're seeing this around 50, 45 counts per minute, right? All right, so now, if this is radioactive, it should go up considerably, especially if it is considered a radioactive mineral. Well, let's just look. And look at that. No change at all. No change at all, basically. Well, it goes up a little bit. But that's basically inconsequential if it goes up 10 counts per minute. And I thought, here's her ring that goes with it. Let's see if that one does anything. And see, I'm putting it right there on the... and no, nothing. All right? Which was surprising. So these were good pieces for jewelry. Now, those we're going to just showing you just how pretty this material can be cut as cabochons. Let's put these up and let's show you what is for sale. Take a look at this piece. This is Udialite, and a stunning specimen for so many reasons. Now, let me just show you this for a moment, because this is associated with another one of the Kola Peninsula in Siberia, Russia, of another extremely desirable and rare jewelry / mineral, or gemstone, semi-precious. And it's astrophyllite or astrophyllite. Let's go in close and just show you how the quality that this is. All right, for one thing, here's the astrophyllite. You can see these beautiful, beautiful bronze reflective crystals. Now, look at the gem quality as we go in as close as we can on these. Look at that. You can see not opaque, not translucent, but some transparent. Look at that. Look at that. Transparent areas of Udialite. Look at this face. I kept this piece because I thought I would take a saw blade, and go right down the middle of it because, well, for one thing, look at all the beautiful astrophyllite mixed in with this. Look at the crystals on the back. Look at these crystals on the back. And as we come away from this, you can see how well formed the crystals actually are. So if this piece was made and cut another slice off of it, you'd get another whole section to work with or to make jewelry. Look like her ring. Look at that. There's a ring. There's that piece right there if you wanted to cut it out of that crystal. This is even a little bit better color. And then as Dave takes us back in closer, let me show you the astrophyllite. Look at the astrophyllite here and over here. And then look at the gem quality Udialite along here. Look at that. This is why I had kept this piece. I had, and still had so many big ideas as to what to do with this, that I thought, Shawn, just be real. You're not going to get the time to do everything you want to do. So I want to see others of you enjoy it or do something with it. Now, let me give you a little information. Let me give you a lot of information. Astrophyllite, for one thing, was discovered in 1844. It is from the Greek word astron, which, of course, from astronomy, everything we know means star. And phylon, or phyllon, means leaf. So for astrophyllite, it refers to the star in allusion to the starburst sprays and the micaceous cleavage. In other words, the astrophyllite forms in layers, and then it forms those starburst effects or sprays as well. And that's how it got its name early on. Now, Udialite was discovered in Norway at first, believe it or not. And it is a sodium, calcium, zirconium silicate. And it is, when you see zirconium, that's what should trigger you as to thinking that there's a chance for it to be, or to have some radioactiveness to it. Because just like our zircon gems do, zircon often contains little micro amounts of some of the rare earth elements, and many of the rare earth elements have a radioactive signature. Now, Udialite is a potassium, sodium, iron silicate with fluorine. So not related to it in whatsoever. Now let me show you. I was doing some testing. You saw that those pieces of jewelry in the Udialite had very, didn't really have any radioactive signature. Now let's check this so you know. So I'm going to put this over just a portion of the Udialite. Look at barely any additional reading at all, right? So as I was exploring around on this piece, look at that. So you can see this comes to the edge, so you know I'm over it, all right? Nothing. I turned it around, and instead of putting it over here, I put it over this section right here. Now, Astrophyllite is known to not be radioactive at all. I put it over just that portion of it, and what does the Geiger? 250 to 300 counts per minute. Now that's completely safe. There's nothing to that. Zircons regularly read 500 to 600 counts per minute in general, just to let you know, and all completely safe. So in this particular specimen, like that jewelry that she had, the Udialite, which is considered a radioactive mineral, had no real radioactive signature. But there is something in this little area right here that does have a radioactive signature. Not quite sure what it is, but I can tell you what some of the other minerals are with this. Agarine. The black is agarine. Now, isn't that funny? See how I have actually done this in stages? You've learned about agarine first, so now when we talk about agarine, you are familiar with it. Mr. Anthony just mentioned how he just got his orthoclase and agarine crystalline specimen. You saw how long and beautiful those agarine crystals were. And look at this. Your black crystals here are long as we come in closer to it. Very similar if, as you can see, they're the elongated black crystals to this. And but agarine isn't a radioactive mineral. There's something else in here that's causing it. Now, I'm not going to all of a sudden be able to tell you why, because I don't know why. Not sure what it is, but just kind of curious as to know there's something special indeed, and I wish I did know. Now, there's something else associated with this, and it's, let me see if I can find it, because it is going to be a new mineral for many of you if you get this. It is nepheline. Let me see if I have it on here. Yeah, so I wasn't able to fit it on the tag, so you have to go by my words to write this down if you get this piece. This is from the Kabini Massif. Okay, now that's important because it tells you exactly which Udialite deposit it is in the Kola Peninsula. And so it has the agarine. Now let me show you. It has nepheline. And the nepheline on this is a really a nice representation for nepheline by way of quality. And it took some serious studying on this to determine exactly what it was and what it is. And if we go to, let's see here. Let me see if I can find it again. Let's go right and look at the edge. Oh, Dave's already there. I'm looking at the specimen. He's got a better, this is exactly what the shot I wanted. Here we go. See, I should have been looking at the monitor all along because I could have seen it so much better than looking. My eyes have really gone downhill. But the camera does it. All right. It is, and this is how difficult and tricky it is to actually figure out what is what in a specimen, because you can look at this and it can all look the same to you, but no, it isn't the same. On the edge here, there is transparent right here, transparent areas or opaque areas that are this color right here. And this one happens to be transparent. This one happens to be transparent right here. There's a few other dots around here of the nepheline as well. And as you look at this piece, and after studying that, you'll find several other areas that have, there's another piece there, but here is one of the bigger areas right there. And you can see how transparent that is. That is nepheline. So you can look it up. It is Nepheline. Nepheline. And wow, what a specimen that makes this piece to be. If you look down here, you're going to see some additional unique mineralization. And as look up and study, that's part of your job as well, is to study on the specimen. Look up agarine, look up the association of agarine with these other minerals, and you're going to see the other minerals associated with it, and you're going to be able to figure out what some other items of it are. This is a stunning piece. This is a really high quality, gem quality piece in so many ways. Price on this? Steak. What does it look like? Steak. Oh man, you're going to make me hungry then. This is a really, really high quality piece that would cut very high quality cabochons. This is only $88. There's so much good things going on with it. It's going to be one of those I'll regret passing up because the quality of the Udialite is exceptional. And as a specimen, to be able to get a specimen of Udialite is very hard to find. To get a specimen of that quality, even much harder to find. I already did research. I already saw what was out there. It was crazy junk they were showing for the Udialite. Astrophyllite. No, this has got it all. This would cut amazing cabochons. If you were into it, it would cut hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of value in cabochons. I could go on and on, but I just realized I have so many other things to do already. I need to get going. Stunning piece. Okay, Mr. Brad. And all you others out here, I have got to get to this next item because, ooh la la, 103-6521. 103-6521. You've heard of this? Hackmanite. Yes, we've talked about it. You have bought gems from me of Hackmanite and wanted more. Well, what you haven't had is a stunning specimen of Hackmanite. It was named for the Finnish geologist Victor Hackman. It is a sodium aluminum silicate with chlorine and sulfur. Sulfur being important. Hackmanite by the ultraviolet group. Okay, so the UV lovers, the ultraviolet lovers that collect UV specimens, consider Hackmanite to only be a fluorescent sodalite. Fluorescent sodalite that's heavy on the sodium has sulfur as the component that causes, yeah, you're going to love this piece, reverse photochromism, also known as tenebrescence. In other words, this piece is orange. The Hackmanite is orange in long-wave ultraviolet light. Okay? You got to follow this. Let me show you. This is the purple. The purple is the Hackmanite. The pink is the Hackmanite. If I take my ultraviolet light, there's more pink. And you'll find other pink. And over here on the side, you see these pink areas? If I take my long wave ultraviolet light and I put this over this, the ultraviolet light on this area, and then, okay, in a dark room, right? And then I remove the UV light, and I did this, so I know. All of this that is a light purple intensifies to a incredibly much darker purple and stands out, but it does something else. I'll tell you in a moment. So it's orange and long wave ultraviolet light, the Hackmanite, right? When you charge it with UV light, ultraviolet light, it intensifies the purple into a much darker, richer, deeper purple. If you take it away, it will then bleach out in visible light, and in darkness, it will recover its color from anywhere from minutes to hours. And it's reversible over and over again. Hence, reversible photochromism is a fancy word for the word tenebrescence. But that's not all this does. And we're just so far only talking about the Hakmonite. Here's the coolest thing, and it's the only specimen I have ever had that does this. In the dark room, okay, in the closet, you've charged this with ultraviolet light, right? When you remove the ultraviolet light, it is phosphorescent. It will continue to glow. I kid you not. It will glow, continue to glow. I have never had a specimen that was phosphorescent like that. And that, to me, made this one of a kind, and I have enjoyed this specimen for years. For years. There is so many things. We've only touched upon one little thing about it. Okay, this piece, to sum it up right now, as far as the Hakmonite goes, it is phosphorescent, it is tenebrescent, and it is fluorescent. So it is fluorescent orange. It is a phosphorescent that is a yellowish blue color. I don't know. It's a difficult color to describe, the phosphorescent color. And then it is tenebrescent for its ability to reverse its colors back and forth after being under ultraviolet light. Fluorescent, tenebrescent, and phosphorescent. Now, let me show you. Go back to over here. Let's look at these white crystals right here. And there we go. Perfect, Dave. Here we go. See these reflective white ones? Not the base white colors. This reflective clearish white. Look at how well formed these crystals are. That is Mariolite. Mariolite belonging to the Scapolite family. I have sold, and I have, and some of them you haven't even bought. Faceted, beautiful faceted Mariolite stones that will glow an incredible orange. I was almost giving them away, and I don't even think a lot of you even bought them. I couldn't believe it. Look at that. Look at those Mariolite crystals. These will fluoresce an incredible orange. Mariolite has one of the best fluorescence for a gem material. So you have the fluorescence not only of the Hakmonite in orange, but then the Mariolite in orange as well. But we're not done yet. There's a little Hakmonite. This has one of the rarest minerals that there is for its kind. And it's actually a very great representation of what it is. It is a mineral called Richterite. Richterite. Let me show you the crystal of Richterite. And there's actually several Richterites on here, but the main one. Look at this right here. Look at this striated. Now you can see it. Look at how big it is, reflecting off right there. Look at that crystal. There's another crystal of Richterite. When you get and can see what it looks like, you'll be able to spot the Richterites on this piece. There's another one. And then there's one other. And it is Albite Feldspar. There's Albite Feldspar. And you can tell that by the adulorescence, that reflection, that moonstone type of reflection. So you have Albite over here, but don't confuse it with the Richterite right here. What a stunning mineral Richterite is. It is a really unusual in its own right. And I'll leave it up to you to do a little bit more studying. But for fluorescence, Richterite, yes, fluoresces a yellowish green color as well. So you have fluorescent Richterite, fluorescent Mariolite, fluorescent Hakmonite. This is a fluorescent lover's dream. Amazing, amazing piece. And all in one specimen. All in one specimen. So you're looking at Albite, Richterite, Hakmonite, and Mariolite. And there probably could be another one or two. But look at all this purple. You know, I think the purple, wait a second. What lights are we using? Doesn't that look darker than it was a little bit ago? You know what? I was going to test this for it's called thermoluminescence, that heat changes color. And some of it does. And you may very well be right. I wish I had the time to test that right now. That really looks darker than it was a few minutes ago. And you may very well be right. And if that's the case, then it's thermoluminescent as well, which actually Hackmanite can be. So this is even though, look how it can be like what you would normally think is a dull kind of specimen until you get to realizing what everything is. Everything doesn't have to be a bright, beautiful color for it to be interesting, unusual, and collectible and valuable. This may be one of those. Richterite, the Mariolites, the Hackmanite, the Albite. What a piece of Mother Nature here. And who knows what's on the inside? There could be a lot more Hackmanite. Price on this, it is worth to me so much more than only the $148. $148. The phosphorescence is what really is stunning. The phosphorescence, for it something to still glow when you take the light away, I had never experienced that until I got this piece. That is remarkable. There's other things to do. I could keep talking about that one for forever. There's more to do here. And let me get to it because it has something to do with Richterite. 103-5921. 103-5921. Look at this. Look at this. The blue, I am not kidding you, is Richterite. The purple is Sugilite. And yes, not Sugilite, Sugilite. Kenichi Sugi discovered this in Japan. And the first discovery was an ugly kind of tannish color, didn't get much attention. It was not until the discovery of Sugilite in the Wessel's mine in the manganese fields of the Kalahari manganese field, that they discovered beautiful, beautiful Sugilite. And the blue Richterite, this is the very desirable color of Richterite. It is a sodium calcium amphibole and was named in honor of Johann Richter, professor of chemistry in the Freiburg University. And in Germany. Now, as we come in closer on this, let me show you. Oh, we're already closer. I'm looking at the specimen. I should be looking at the monitor. Look at this. This is known as gel. When you get the quality of Sugilite that this is, and that beautiful kind of translucent to transparent color of purple, that is the very valuable Sugilite. You can see it is mixed in with this very rare amphibole. Everywhere you look up about Richterite, it is considered very, always the word mentioned with it is rare. And you know what, Raven, Raven has a world-class piece of Richterite. I mean, a stunning, large piece of cabochon Richterite. Yeah, you could facet. It is faceted. It is faceted. Her piece, yeah. No, hers it could be as a pendant. It is so big and it is faceted. I'll have to bring in her faceted Richterite. It's a stunning, stunning piece. But look at this. So you can cut the Richterite with the Sugilite in it. Look at this. This is, you can see the crystalline form of Sugilite, which is extremely rare, but you can see the outline of the crystal in this piece. Look at this mixed. Okay, the red in with this is hematite. In with it, which is an iron oxide, as you know, and actually adds to the pretty color because it's the hematite, a very attractive color of hematite. This piece is one of the finest, largest pieces of Sugilite Richterite I have ever seen. And again, it would be tempting to cut And that would be up to whoever got it, because I was certainly tempted to cut it. But then again, it is so sculpturally pretty as it is. Let's see if it sits on its own. It really, really wants to. With just a little bit of goop, sticky stuff, it would do it. But it is so sculpturally pretty as it is. It could be left alone. But look at that really high-grade Sugilite running through it. And wow is all I can say about it. And I'm getting to pieces that I am really hating to part with. But again, I love it when all of you are seeing things that you can see nowhere else but right here at Gem Shopping. And believe me, I've already researched this piece when I was looking up some information about it, just how rare this exact kind of specimen, quality, size, and then money, how inexpensive this is. Price on this, what it would cut in the value of the Sugilite specimens alone, if you were to break that down and cut it, would be hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of value. Your opportunity as a specimen on this, I'm going to make this a excellent opportunity for someone if you collect rare items, especially in the Richterite. Only $118. Only $118 on that. Wow is all I can say. Again, that's another one I could talk more about, but I'm only showing this one chance only. I am decided that I'm offering it one time, and if you don't, and no one gets it this one time, I'm keeping it, because it is that special, that rare, and a really, really incredible find of Richterite. Now, let me show you. We'll put the Geiger counter up. Let me just do a little check here on this. Yep, see? All safe with, and that's what I do with all the mineral specimens for everybody. That's how I find stuff if it's radioactive, is I have a Geiger counter. Let me show you the next item, and this is another extremely beautiful and rare piece. Item number 1036021. 1036021, and this is going to be from my personal collection, obviously, due to what it is. All right. Yeah, this is stunning. This is stunning. And for those of you that have watched for any length of time, you will know and have seen me offer demantoid garnet specimens, not from Namibia, but a while back, before this discovery played out, Madagascan demantoid garnet. And look at this piece. This is from the metamorphosed sandstone of the inner tidal flats of the mangrove swamps near the capital of Madagascar, which of course is an island nation off the eastern coast of Africa, has so many pegmatites. But this is unusual because I used to show a picture, but I don't have time today to do it, of the mining field. And they could only mine in between the tides. And every time the tides would come back in, they would flood the mining pits. It was a site of only 20 hectares, not a very large site. And over 2,000 miners would pack into that area in between the tides. Each one would only dig out a hole. It was artisanal mining. None of this was done by corporate mining. It was all by the individual. And it was discovered in 2009. Only discovered. Think about it. A field of demantoid garnet that valuable was not discovered in 2009. I wish that was me, to find something like that. Well, it is mined out now. It actually has been mined out for years. Specimens like this are only found in old collections or shows, and they are going for a small fortune. The intertidal zone, it made it extremely difficult. You couldn't dig deep. No, you hit water. Everyone knows that at the beach. And, if you get this specimen, it would be worth it. And even if you don't get it, look it up. Look up the demantoid mining fields of Madagascar, and you will see the most amazing, incredulous conditions these miners had to work. But what was the neat thing? Each individual miner or their family had their one little like 10 by 10 foot hole that they would dig, and they'd go back to it in between the tides and dig it out every day. And it was the individuals that got the money on the specimens. Unfortunately, it was probably a much less than what they should have gotten, but nevertheless, it was better than it kept a lot of people fed for a period of time. Now, this is from again, as you see this material, as we go, Dave takes us in closer, you'll see it is a sandstone, but you can see it's how granular it is. It's metamorphosed sandstone. And it is due to a tectonic plate diving into the ocean where the two came together. The two sources of geology came together with mixing again with a seawater mix that originally would have created the environment where you had garnets that could grow on sandstone. Look at these garnets. This is one of the finer specimens and clusters of demantoid garnet that I'd actually seen come out of there. And so I kept it. Compared to the other less important specimens that I had before and sold. This was one of the nicer ones. You can see mixed qualities in here. They cut a lot of material was gem value and were cut into stones. No more. All that material is no more. It's been mined out, played out. Now, what's left is from old estates like mine. Take advantage of this. It's only $248. Only $248. I saw things like this going for prices, unbelievable pricing. Okay, I saved the next stone, the best for last, and it may be the last item of the show. Item number 1037221. Let me clean the turntable for just a moment. This stone, and it is a stone, a gemstone, is worthy of taking a few moments to talk about. It is one of the rarest stones or rarer stones I've ever showed you. Look at this. Look at this. It is a pastel color euclase. Now, this stone, to be fair, I want to show you by pastel, it's a pastel greenish blue. So let me take it from here and just put it against white for a moment and show you the color. It's a very pale blue, but it's obvious that it is a bluish, lightly bluish, blue-green tinted stone. If I said it was totally white, it would be wrong. It has a really light color tone, but that's okay. Whether it's white or the blue or any of those colors doesn't change the value unless it's a much an intense blue, a beautiful deeper blue, then the value does go up. Now, euclase, it is again from a Greek word named for it because the Greek word meaning easily fractured for having perfect cleavage. Guys, don't say a word. Yes, perfect cleavage, something like, well, diamond has, an amazing cleavage. You hit a diamond the right way, boom, it breaks. Calcite will have perfect cleavage. Topaz has perfect cleavage. Many, many minerals have perfect cleavage. If it's cut right, it doesn't affect it at all. But that's how it got its name. It was discovered in 1792. Now, it is formed from the decomposition of beryl. Now, let me just show you in my primitive writing. So excuse me for the ugly writing here, but let me just show you real quick because it's important. Here's the formula for euclase. Beryllium, aluminum, silicon, oxygen, and OH, which is like hydroxide. All right. So you have beryllium, aluminum, silicon, oxygen. That's what's in it. Now look at beryl, just the mineral beryl. Beryllium, aluminum, silicon, and oxygen. Just different, this is 3 beryllium atoms, 2 aluminum, just a different number of atoms, but the exact same mineral combination. That's why euclase can form from the decomposition of beryl turns it into euclase. Guess what? Euclase has a hardness of 7.5. This is over a 6-carat stone, which is huge in the euclase world. This is a very old stone. I have had it a long time. I have it. It was mined in the 70s and it comes from not just the emerald mines. This is where they discovered them, in emerald mines. Not only but it comes from the emerald mine, the Chivor mine. And this was mined in the 70s, this particular stone. I've had it for decades, and I know its history prior to that. You can see the step cutting on the back, and that is kind of tells you that it's a more of a jam peg or a locally cut stone. It's not one that was custom cut. It could be custom cut. I don't know if you could really get it much brighter. It's a very bright stone the way it is. I'd leave it alone. It is a clean stone, a clean stone. Price on this, I have got it at a price less, about half. If you can even find them. I couldn't even find them. You know what? I found one's yellowish, kind of a yellowish color, not very attractive. And the prices were crazy, just crazy high on this. The crystal specimens were so expensive, I couldn't believe it. A crystal specimen 1 inch long was anywhere from $2,000, $1,500, $2,500. It was ridiculous. This is only $488. $488. That is less than $80 a carat. I challenge you to find a euclase this size for less than that. That is probably the finest and rarest gemstone I have shown you in a long time. And that's just it. We're not only getting to incredible mineral specimens as we go along, we're getting to some, again, in this show, I wanted to show you a few more gemstones, and I have done that. I had many other things planned for you today, but this one is going to have to be the last item of the show, but it is one to end the show on that is a opportunity is knocking on this. And for those of you that out of your budget, that's okay. You're going to learn something about it. You have learned something about it. And it is just a beautiful, rare gem that because you're watching not only this show, but Gem Shopping is the only reason you'll get to see it, because you will not get to see that stone on any of the other shows, if you can, or networks, if you can call them that. Only here at Gem Shopping do you get chances like that. And this particular stone, only here at Gem Collectors with Shawn. And with that note, I'll end it, and I'll be right back with the trivia questions. All right, so I hope you had as much fun as I did. I didn't get to as many pieces. They're already kidding me about how many minutes per average I spent on all of them. But you know what? When you're showing some quality items that, I give a deeper level of explanation normally. I always have, including whether it was jewelry or whatnot, because I can talk about how something is made, the cutting, how something is cut, all the other issues when it comes to manufacturing a ring. So when, I show a ring, I talk about all those things. When I show a mineral specimen, I talk about other things. I talk about where it's found, why it was named, what it was named, and yes, that takes more time, and sometimes probably more time than I should take. But if I don't give you the information, so many of those items, you would not be able to know enough to find the information on your own. Just like Mr. Anthony having trouble finding what the other green stone is with the epidote. And all it takes is a question to me, and without even having to research it, boom, I knew right off the bat. But to confirm my research, then I did a little homework just to verify it. And so in presenting some of these pieces, I know that if I don't give you that information right then and there, that it'll forever, possibly, unless you have enough knowledge to research it on your own, forever that information is lost, at the end of my ownership. So anyway, I like to share what I know and give you as much information as possible. So, but the other side of that is I don't get to feature nearly as many items as I'd like to. But it seems, and especially since we did about as many as last week, that all of you seem to be happy with the number of items you've seen. Take advantage of them, though. No good to me doing all that and showing you all that information if you guys don't buy them. So, but you have been. And I thank you for that, because in the end, it's not just about show and tell. It is about show and sell. And so many of you have really appreciated the items that I brought to you and at the value that I brought them to you. And if I show them, I do want you to take advantage of them if you can swing them. And with that value, if I was buying something, I would expect information as well. So, all right. Now, that said, I also give away items at the beginning of every show based on how well you answer the trivia questions I'm getting ready to ask right now. Let's see how you do next week. For one thing, before I forget, because I've been known to do this, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. This show you'll get to see before Thanksgiving, but just carry my my love, my thoughts, and my Thanksgiving, not only for the things that I have in life, but also for what you have brought to my life and to my heart, and brought to my passion. You have kept it accelerated and kept me feeling good about the past 50 years of my life, that it wasn't all for naught and not all just gone wasted loving rocks. You know, Charlie Brown and I have something in common. I don't mind if I was given a rock in the bottom of my Halloween bag, Christmas, under the Christmas tree, you name it. As I've always told anyone that travels, they always ask, what can I bring you back? And I said, a rock. Everybody can pick up a rock no matter where you are. And I don't care what the rock looks like. I always ask, just write down or take a picture of exactly where you got it, of you with it, or where it came from. And so my son, having been in Japan now, he has gathered up, and he sent me pictures of them. He's gathered up a series of rocks. I can't wait for him to bring them to me. And that'll be a more precious of a gift, because you have to be thinking of me to remember to get the rock. And that's kind of cool. So, all right, that said, I hope you might have needed to take notes during the show, but with your fresh memory, I hope that you can remember them and see how well you do. All right, now, the first question is, the decomposition of beryl creates what mineral? The decomposition of beryl creates what mineral? That's question number one. Question number two is, what is another word for reverse photochromism? Two not so easy questions, but with my presentation, they should be easy answers. And with that said, I just want to again express my thanks, being Thanksgiving week, to all of you. And I appreciate your continued support and patience with me throughout my illness and moving forward throughout the holidays and into next year. God bless all of you. I appreciate you so much. Hug and love each other. And I will look forward to thinking about all of you and appreciating everything that I have been given, including the level of health, because many have had it worse. And with that said, happy Thanksgiving. God bless all of you, and I'll see you next week.